Hey you guys, and welcome back. I just wanted to have a little discussion with you guys about this new ban on diesels in California. And California says that this is not a ban. This is not a ban. This is kind of like painting you into a corner in a room and saying, you can leave anytime. You just need to walk through the paint. Basically, it's a ban without being a ban. Okay, and how's this going to affect you? How's this going to make you pay more for things and everything else? And then I'm going to talk about a little bit about how that it could be stopped at the federal level, and it probably will be. So stay tuned. So this green thing that some people will think it's great. They want everybody to have electric trucks and everything else. The problem with electric vehicles is when you put weight in them, you start to carry a lot of heavy things. They get terrible range, and that's the problem with these big trucks. And the other thing is, to get a decent amount of range out of it, they become very, very expensive, and they take a lot of time to charge, or a lot of kilowatts to charge. So you have to have massive amounts of energy being pulled from the grid somewhere to charge these vehicles up. And we currently don't have the technology for that. But yet the laws are coming 2025. I tell people 2025. It's not 2035. That's when it's a complete ban. Okay? 2025, 35% of all vehicles supplied to California, as far as I know, again, this video is my opinion. You can look this stuff up on your own, and you can find out whether you agree with it or disagree at any time. So how is this going to affect you? And we'll kind of go over that. And a lot of people don't realize that this is going to affect everyone in the state of California. In fact, it affects everyone nationwide, because what happens is when they ban diesel engines in California, it means that your goods and services are going to cost more money in other states. So yeah, if they have difficulty getting trucks to deliver food and deliver items to your stores in other states, because the Port of Los Angeles is where so much stuff comes from, California laws will affect probably most of the United States, or at least the western region. So keep that in mind, you guys. And the whole thing is some of this can be stopped, and I'm hoping that it does. And it wouldn't have been stopped with the Biden administration or with Kamala Harris. Believe me, she would have just kept it going. I think there's a lot of people who are aware that this was going to happen, and this is why there was such a big amount of people that moved to Trump from Kamala Harris. So not only is this affecting new pickup trucks, okay, coming in 2025, because I believe they're not selling any diesel trucks over 2,500 in California. Even next year, in a couple of days, it's affecting motorhomes. So you have these companies that manufacture motorhomes in California. A lot of them started here, and they're not able to get cabs and chassis. So a lot of them, same thing with tow trucks. Tow trucks all have to be diesel pretty much. I mean, how are you going to carry, okay, let me just give you an example. So I have a bucket truck, and I had two of them. I sold one, and my gas engine truck got 5 miles to the gallon, 4 maybe in the city. My diesel gets 9, okay, 9 to 10 miles a gallon. So basically double the gas mileage. And I don't know, how can that be bad for the environment? Even though maybe it puts emissions in the air, it uses less fuel. So in that respect, it brings some back. But they don't look at it that way. They want to look at one thing. They look at air quality management, and they don't look at anything else. So the problem is, if goods and services or things come on shipping containers and end up at the Port of Long Beach, okay, or have to get shipped out through the Port of Long Beach, they have to go on a CARB approved vehicle. And this is becoming more and more of an issue. And, This is a federal problem. And because it's a federal problem, I believe that there's a way that the federal government can look at it and make some changes. And let's hope they do. Because if they don't, goods and services are going to be a lot more expensive. You're going to be paying more for food. You're going to be paying more for anything that comes on the ship. Okay, if it comes in on a ship, you're going to pay more. If it's something that, so for instance, if it's something that's manufactured here that other places buy from us or exports, they're going to pay more. So they're going to buy less. So that means jobs. That means for everyone, not just California. Anything that goes out of the port of Los Angeles will be affected. In fact, a lot of the places like Washington and that, they adopt the same laws we do. So the ports up there probably have the same problem. So yeah, it's going to affect a lot of people. Okay, and I've been saying this. 2025, 35% of all vehicles supplied to California need to be some sort of EV or zero emissions, they say. I don't think there's any such thing as zero emissions. There's nothing that's really zero emissions, okay? You have less emissions, maybe, but not zero. Because anything that's manufactured and takes more emissions to manufacture puts emissions in the air. You need to count the emissions from the date that it was manufactured and how it was manufactured, and the manufacturing emissions to the demolition emissions as well, because it definitely takes more emissions to demolition an electric vehicle than it does a gasoline vehicle because the hazardous waste of the batteries. So with the Supreme Court we have, and thank goodness we have that, and the potential of Trump being president coming up, I'm hoping that they can turn this around. I would love to see, and put your comments below, make sure you leave a comment, make sure you like the video, don't forget to do that, and leave us a comment and let me know what you think. Anyway, regardless, right or left view, whatever, and we'd love to hear from you. This ban that isn't a ban will probably make things go much more expensive. Can you imagine when you go down to buy food and you find out, it's $2 more a gallon? Oh, well, it's those companies, they're ripping us off. No, it's your government. It's the government. It's government push inflation. There's two types of inflation, basically. You have cost push inflation from costs that goes up to companies, okay? And that's what the government creates, a lot of it, in California at least. And you have money print inflation. So we have both of those going on. We've got tons of money that was printed during the pandemic, and that inflation's real. You can't roll that back. I've had people say, oh, once Trump's president, prices are going to go down. I really don't think so. I don't think it's possible to do that. There's two ways to get rid of inflation. One's shrink it by raising interest rates and slowing down business. And the other one is to grow out of it. And I really think that that's the method that Trump is going to use, is to try and grow us out of it, increase jobs, increase money movement, and basically make it so that we can afford these high prices. It's a difficult situation, guys. It's not going to happen overnight. And a lot of people think, oh wow, as soon as he's president, it's going to be great again. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while to unwind all this stuff. And when you've got places like California that are really just sabotaging things, literally, that is sabotaging things. When you put that kind of stiff regulation in place and make food cost more and make goods and services cost more in that state, and it's going to have a ripple effect, like I said, things that go through California, they're going to cost more because they came from the port of Los Angeles. The trucks have to comply with California law. There is something called the right to travel, and I think it affects that in our Constitution. And I don't know, you can comment below about that. And, when it affects everything federally, because of California's state law that I think they can't stop it. But look what they've done with gun laws, okay? They put something together that's unconstitutional. They know it is. They know it's going to get changed, okay? And they enforce it. And then what they do is, after they, get it vetoed or it gets shut down by the courts, then they just rewrite it and change a couple words, and they enforce it again until they play the game that the immigrants are playing, which is basically coming here and coming to California, coming to the United States, running across the border, and then make a bunch of money, okay, send it home. They know that that they're applying for amnesty. They know they're not going to get it. And in the meantime, they can actually send money home and go home to a nest egg. And especially when it's paid for by us taxpayers, and people are starting to figure that out because of the internet, okay? And again, like I said, everything in this video is my opinion. It's from my point of view. Maybe I'm wrong, okay? And I have to say that because, Google is kind of interesting. So let's put it that way. So back to the diesel ban. I don't think anybody should have a right to tell us what kind of fuel or what kind of vehicle we need to have or how we should live our lives. Technology is increasing all the time. They're coming out with better, cleaner ways to run diesel engines, and they're coming out with different fuels. In Europe, one of the things that they've done is they had all electric society in Germany, I know, and they've actually adopted the synthetic fuel as an option. And synthetic fuel is an option. It will run in a regular diesel engine. They have stuff that's made with water and air, okay? It's, I think, something technology, Sunfire Technology. Sunfire Technology is the company in Europe that's making a synthetic fuel from water and air and solar power. Doesn't even connect to the grid, and it actually makes a synthetic diesel that will run in any diesel engine. It's called Blue Crude. You can look this stuff up. They're coming out with all these types of things. So and it's not zero emissions, okay? It's not zero. It doesn't qualify for zero emissions, okay? This is ridiculous. Saying it's zero emissions when, all these electric cars and trucks being built over in other countries are making emissions, because they don't have regulations over there, and they're, to mine lithium from the ground and all this stuff is very, very hazardous. And there's immediate emissions put in the air for that. And, emissions from a tailpipe are over time, so it's things to weigh out. There's no perfect solution anyway. And I think most of us want cleaner air. Most of us want good water. We don't want to mess with those things, but we'd like to do it the right way. And from what I'm seeing, California government, there's just so many holes in things that they do. They're just not doing it the right way. So this is one of the reasons, again, why a lot of people are moving from Democrat to Republican, because they're realizing that this is not what they wanted. This is not what they voted for. And when they realize that it's going to come out of their pockets, especially middle class, they're just like, hey, we're done. We're out of this. We're going to vote for the other people. And you saw that in the last election. You saw that happen. And I believe it's going to actually happen in California. It's just a matter of time. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys on the next video. I hope you enjoyed this. And please like, share, and subscribe. And leave a comment. And make sure you share the video somewhere, like on your Facebook or whatever. And get this stuff out there so that this will grow. All right, talk to you in the next one.